Styxia is an agri-world, home to less than 5 million souls, pointed out Captain Agamemnon, who held the title of Regent of Ultramar, second in authority only to Calgar. 1,000 times that number are threatened at Vortengard. Our priorities are clear. We must not be distracted from our current course of action. The chaplain stood up and leaned forwards, resting the knuckles of his armored gauntlets on the polished black marble of the table. Like the table, the chaplain's armor was jet black. Only his left shoulder pad, painted in the blue, of the Ultramarines. Skull devices adorned his armor amongst a welter of wax-sealed purity parchments, and at his hip was chained a copy of the Liber Ultramar, the roll of honor of the Ultramarines. "You wish to say something?" said Marneus Calgar, waving a hand to invite Cassius to speak. "It is not my place to countermand the wishes of this council, but I have words that need to be heard," said the chaplain. His voice was deep, his words spoken quickly but clearly. Who knows better than those seated here what devastation the Tyranids can unleash? Who but the Ultramarines has the experience and the knowledge to defeat this threat? More than that, who above the Ultramarines do the people of the Imperium look to for salvation from this alien menace? "We cannot fight every foe, no matter how much we might desire it," said Agamemnon. "Always we must weigh up the price of action. Styxia cannot be considered a more important cause than the hive worlds and manufactories of the Vortengard spiral." Cassius stepped away from the table and crossed the hall to where a broad bookcase stood beneath a tapestry showing the north facade of the Macragge Senate House. The chaplain took the first volume from the top shelf, a hefty tome, the spine of which barely fitted into his giant hand. Carrying the book, he moved around the table and placed it in front of Agamemnon. "The Codex Astartes," said Cassius, stroking the book with a reverent gesture. "Penned by the Primarch. Show me, Severus, where in the wisdom of Guilliman are we told to put logic before honor?" "I can turn to the pages that tell us not to waste the lives of our warriors in the cause of vanity, if you like," said Ixion, reaching across the table for the Codex. "To what advantage would we send our warriors into this campaign?" said Agamemnon. "If not strategic, nor personal, what end do we serve if we were to respond to this call above all others?" "We give hope," Cassius said quietly. "Ever has it been that the Space Marines are too few to conquer every threat. Yet the truth of our existence and the hope of our intervention steals the hearts of lesser warriors and lends strength to their conviction. They hold out against impossible odds and offer up prayers to the Emperor that the angels of death will come. They fight harder, knowing that if they do so, we might intervene. Mankind believes our Emperor to be a god, and that is both foolish and blind. Yet they also believe the Adeptus Astartes to be the instrument of his will, and that is not so ignorant. I cannot say whether the Emperor answers prayers thrown up in desperation, but I do know that the Ultramarines reply to calls for aid if it is possible. To not answer that cry for help threatens to shatter something far more precious than ore worlds and hive factories: faith in the Space Marines. There was no word raised from the captains against the powerful argument spoken by the Master of Sanctity. Ixion shook his head slightly as Cassius looked directly at him, while Agamemnon lowered his eyes, unable to meet the chaplain's gaze. The council turned to Marneus Calgar, who had remained attentive but dispassionate throughout the exchange. "Take the strike cruiser Fidelis as transport," said Calgar. "It has sufficient berths and craft to effect a landing for 100 warriors." "Your faith will be rewarded," said Cassius. 100 Space Marines is a force that will balk any foe. The glory of the Ultramarines will be maintained, our honor upheld. "I will look unkindly upon unnecessary heroics," said Calgar, his expression grim. We cannot afford heavy casualties at this time. I trust you not to spend the lives of the chapter's warriors without good cause. Do not disappoint me." Feeling chastised, Cassius dropped to one knee and bowed his head to his chapter master. "Your disappointment would be the most severe castigation I could suffer," said the chaplain. "We will not fail.